Irmão fate kila ya talon kila mayo on jamais namanale 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 manu yok ye yen say sami beshune sama kaldem ci fama dogi wo yen say sama kaldem ci nit ñu baax ñamu sétalo irmano fate kila ya talon kila mayo on jamais namanale 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 manu yok ye yen say sami beshune sama kaldem ci fama dogi wo yen say sama kaldem ci nit ñu baax ñamu sétalo irmano fate kila ya talon kila mayo on jamais namanale 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 manu yok ye yen say sami beshune sama kaldem ci fama dogi wo yen say sama kaldem ci nit ñu baax ñamu sétalo irmano fate kila ya talon kila mayo on jamais namanale 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 manu
All right, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, based on where you are located. All right, so we have close to 20 people already joined who have joined. We believe as we start, the others will also join. So probably you can go ahead and start. So thank you for joining today's webinar on the AFREhealth ScholarRx Open Education Microgrant Award. My name is Roger Lawrence. I work with AFREhealth, and I'll be your moderator for today. So before we start, let me give a bit of outline of how the day will go, and then we can proceed from there. So we'll start with some introductory remarks from the Senior Programs Manager of AFREhealth, and after that, which I'll come in again, and then talk about the overview of the micro grants that we circulated across our social media platforms, across our AFREhealth community and the main reason why we are here. And then after that, we will have Dr. Tawali from ScholarRx, who will also step in to also do a demonstration of how you can navigate around or how you can use a ScholarRx platform. Forgive me, I have a technical hitch on my video, so it's not showing. Along the line, if it comes, I'll show my face. So after Dr. Tauli is done with the demonstration, we'll have a Q&A session. So as the presentations are going on, you can save your comments. When it's time for the Q&A, you can type it in the chat box, or we'll give you a chance to also unmute and then also ask your questions. We have a team here who are also able and ready to respond to your questions as well. We have Dr. Roy, we have Jeff, we have Dr. Tauli, and we have Evans, a team also from AFREhealth together who have also joined the call. So as we also wait for others to join, I think it's time for Evans, a team. You can, if possible, the floor is yours. You can give us some introductory words, any welcome message. Unfortunately, our executive director sends her apologies, so Evans, a team, is here to speak for her on her behalf. So Evans, a team, please, the floor is yours.
Hello, Roger, can you hear me? Just confirm if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, thank you very much for the opportunity and laying out the roadmap to our engagement today. Greetings to you all. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time zone, and warm greetings from our executive director. So basically, I'm just stepping in to receive or welcome all of you to this very, very important engagement. This has been long expected for us to have this engagement, and I'm sure, as is expected, this partnership with ScholarRx. It's one of our strategic approaches to, reaching out or achieving our vision, which is to be a responsive and leading African forum in the pursuit of excellence in health research, education, and service in the Africa region. So I would pause and just appreciate all of you for making time to come to participate in this very, very important engagement. And please feel free to ask all the questions that you would require to be clarified on this engagement as far as the grant is concerned. And I'm sure colleagues from ScholarRx would be more than happy to provide more clarity on questions that may be asked from this point. So thank you very much. And over to you, Roger. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Evans, for your remarks. Allow me to share my slides and then we'll take it from there. All right, so like I mentioned earlier, we have been circulating this notice of grants across our social media, on our website, and also on our community. And we are gathered here so that we expand on what entails and the priority areas and how and when you can apply also before the deadline, which is March 31st, 2026. So this webinar is basically designed to help you understand the opportunity, the type of grants available, and how you can apply as well. All right. So as rightfully explained, and also mentioned by Evans in his introductory remarks, briefly, for those who are new and to AFREhealth, who actually will probably join the link for the first time, AFREhealth is basically a Pan-African network of health professions and institutions working to improve healthcare in Africa through education, research, and capacity building. we bring institutions together to collaborate, share knowledge, and strengthen the health workforce across continents. So a major part of our work is supporting innovative and scalable health professions education. And this is where our partnership with ScholarRx comes in. So in regards to our partnership, AFREhealth and ScholarRx, we signed a 2-year memorandum of understanding. And this partnership is built on shared vision to promote equitable access to high quality learning resources in health professions education. Together, we want to strengthen Africa-led digital education initiatives. So this grant program is one of the first major activities under this partnership, among a few other ones as well. So our partnership focuses on 4 major goals. Basically improving access to high quality open education resources, also empowering faculty to develop digital teaching skills, supporting collaboration among African educators, showcasing African academic work globally. So in simple terms, we want African educators and clinical educators to create, share, and lead global medical education content. Now, as part of this partnership, there are opportunities which for AFREhealth members. So if it's your first time joining, every opportunity that we have here, being a member puts you on a higher pedestal. You become more eligible as compared to a non-member. Yeah. So through this partnership, AFREhealth members gain access to faculty development opportunities and micro grants for content development, which we are on now, which is the purpose of this today's information webinar. We also have access to ScholarRx learning platforms. There will be networking with global educators as well, and opportunities to participate in ScholarRx consortium meetings as well. So like I mentioned, today's webinar focuses specifically on the grants opportunity that we shared across our community and social media platform. Okay, so a very important aspect is the purpose of the award. Now, the purpose of this award is to support African educators to develop open access and shareable RX bricks. When it gets to the RX bricks, Dr. Tawoli will expand more in his presentation. This means learning resources that are peer-reviewed, are openly accessible, can be reused and adapted by educators across Africa and globally. So probably if somebody creates a bricks on, let's say, malaria, it can be adapted in, let's say malaria in Ghana, it can be adapted in, let's say, in Ethiopia, and using the Ethiopian context, it can be adapted. And then, so that's what we mean by openly accessible and also reused and adapted by other educators across Africa and globally. This initiative also strengthens interprofessional education and builds a community of practice around open education. So if you take a look at the grants that we shared across, you notice that we listed as priority areas in the notice of grants award that we shared. This is because we as AFREhealth, we organize several needs assessments, and we notice these are the areas that are lagging or that needs urgent attention, or that is where most people want to have more knowledge in. So the grants are open to a wide range of topics, which include these areas listed, but it's not limited to this. I know there will be questions of what do we mean by not limited to it. Dr. Roy is also happy here to also respond to that after when we get to the Q&A in terms of any other question you want to ask on what other else can be added to these priority areas as well. So not to mention a few, AI in education and healthcare, research training, leadership, curriculum development, health systems and strengthening, clinical teaching and simulation, basically. The list is not exhaustive, like I mentioned, but proposals must align with AFREhealth's priority areas as well. Now, also within the notice of grants, we noticed there are two types of award that we are laying out. We have individual educator micro grants, or what we call the open education micro grants. We also have the curriculum development award. So I think it's best to think of them as small individual projects versus larger institutional projects. So the individual open educational micro grants is more like a short course, an individual micro grant, and like a small project, and then the curriculum one is more like a larger for institutional projects, and they have different awards for each. Sorry. Right. So the first category is the individual educator micro grants. For this, each award is 500, and there's up to 5 individuals who will be selected or will be shortlisted. Or let me say, will be awarded. The grants support educators to develop one or more RX bricks on a topic aligned with the AFREhealth priority areas. And this is ideal for individual educators, like I mentioned, who want to start creating open educational resources. So the award is just to compensate you for your time in spending in creating the RS bricks and all that. So, and like I also mentioned, Dr. Tauli will also demonstrate on how you can create the bricks after I'm done with this presentation. So this one is $500 and is going to be given to 5 individuals, mainly who are shortlisted after the notice of grant is closed on 31st March. So in regards to the eligibility, you should be an AFREhealth member, show interest in health profession education, commit to developing open access RS bricks. Can be an educator or a clinical educator or trainer as well. So this is the eligibility for this, basically, yeah. The second one is the curriculum development grants. This is a larger institutional award. The award amount is $2,500 plus up to 200 one-year RS Bricks subscriptions for your students. Also with this, Dr. Tawali will expand on how it will benefit your students in terms of the 200 RS Bricks subscriptions for the learners. Let me say the learners, since it requires an institution approval as well on this. Only one award will be given. This support developing a set of RS bricks for a course or training program. This is for teams or programs and not individual. So with the eligibility, applicants must be involved in curriculum development, training programs, course design or revision. An institution must support open access publication of the material. So the institution that you belong to should support access publications of the materials. So in regards to the application, so these are the two micro grants, that we stated in the notice of grants. That is the individual micro grants and the curriculum development micro grants. And then in terms of the application timeline, it's ended in March 31st, 2026. Applications will be reviewed jointly by AFREhealth and ScholarRx. And applicants will receive feedback before or by 5 weeks after the deadline. So it can be earlier, but maximum, let's say it won't go beyond 5 weeks after the deadline, and then I will get the feedback to all of you on whether you are awarded to the grants onwards. So the application requirement is also stated clearly in the notice of grants that we shared. One cover letter, a proposal, maximum 2 pages on the subject of bricks or the domain. Let me say the area that you want to create a bricks on, a bio sketch of yourself. And for those who are applying for the curriculum, the development grants, you add an institutional support letter. You add them all in one PDF, and then you attach it. And then you on the form that you shared from the notice of grants across our platforms. So these are the responsibilities of the awardees. When we award the grants, or when you are shortlisted or you are called for the grants, we expect that awardees will complete ScholarRx training. There'll be a training for the awardees, and then also they'll be required to develop and submit RX bricks. They'll participate in peer review, and then share the content openly for reuse. This is about building a sustainable open education ecosystem. So it requires that it's shared openly for reuse. And if there are any other inquiries post this information webinar, you can send me an email and then we shall respond to it as well. After, in consultation with my team, we'll just respond to every question that comes after this after this information webinar. That is, if you're unable to ask a question here and then you like to, it comes up later, you can send me a quick email. My email is also on the websites and also across all the communique that we shared across as well. So I think that'll be it on mine. And if possible, Dr. Taoli, I think you can take it from here. Let me invite Dr. Taoli to also do a quick demonstration on how to navigate and use the understanding the bricks on the ScholarRx platform. After that, we can have the Q&A. So Dr. Taoli, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Roger. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. It's a pleasure to be here and to help support this, I think, very exciting grant program that hopefully will open a new chapter in Africa, developing its own education resources for Africa, in health professions education. So hopefully you should be able to see my screen, and I will also open up the chat as well too to make sure that I'm not missing any comments. So just give me a second here. Okay, I think it's all there. So again, I want to thank Roger. I want to thank the AFREhealth Secretariat. Georgina, Roy, Judy, Elsie, other members of the and other members of the AFREhealth leadership for really being such wonderful and critical thought partners as we think about how we can help support Africa-led education initiatives across the continent. So what I will focus on in the next 20 minutes, because I do want to make sure we have time for open Q&A, is just a brief overview of some of the philosophical and I think culture ideas innovation ideas that we're trying to drive in partnership with AFREhealth, and then how it could actually work. So again, you should be seeing my screen, and so I will go ahead and move forward. So just to say a little bit about us, ScholarRx's mission is to build a healthier world together through accessible, sustainable health education for all. You notice that the word together is emphasized because it's really about us collaborating and not any of us going alone. So that pulls in that famous African proverb: if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. We work with, speaking of which, going together, we work with over 100 institutions, 150,000 learners per year all over the world. And we very much talk about sharing and collaboration. We wrote about this in a paper several years ago in the journal Academic Medicine, a proposal for a shared medical school curricular ecosystem with Charles Prober from Stanford University. And we observed that health profession education often occurs in silos, and that there is not enough collaboration among schools, institutions, regions, countries, and that this is just simply inefficient and not acceptable, given the priorities and the challenges facing the continent, these days. We propose that if you could create a global shared curricular ecosystem based on commonly accepted standards, you could promote broad access to quality education, promote interprofessional education, address workforce shortages as discussed by WHO and WHO AFRO and other African Union and other continental entities, and then decentralize learning and teaching so the ability is in the hands of everyone and not just the hands of a few of a privileged few. A lot of this is on leveraging OER frameworks, open education resources. This is something that's been heavily advocated by UNESCO and by others, and using proper licensing frameworks such as Creative Commons, which we partner with to make sure that education is truly and legally accessible and reusable, and we can all build on the work of each other's. So thus our partnership with Creative Commons. And so we've designed a system, ecosystem, a shared ecosystem around the idea of bricks, RX bricks. And the idea, as you can see in my video here, is I've got these Lego bricks here. And the idea is that almost all asynchronous education can be designed as a brick. So basically an interconnectable learning module that's interactive, that can contain text, video, and multimedia. And the idea is that if you have enough of these bricks, you could connect them together and build almost any type of training and learning experience that you want for the continent, and in almost infinite combinations, much like you or your children build Lego toys if they have enough of these, what looks like very simple, innocuous plastic blocks, right? So that's the whole idea. And the key thing is to be able to do it not just for your institution, but to do it freely and to share it with others and to do it in an open way, using OER principles, right? And so our platform has actually been available to do this for close to 4 years now, and we have been fortunate to develop a very robust community of practice involving nearly 1,000 medical education and health professionals from all over the world at 160 medical schools and health profession schools, who have built over 2,600 open modules on our platform under a Creative Commons license, and that these modules, including the ones that we have built, on an open access basis, have driven over 5 million open learning sessions on our platform. Each brick learning session is roughly 15 to 30 minutes. And I'll show you what a brick looks like in just a few minutes. We're proud to say that we have what we believe very inclusive participation throughout the world. We started off in the US, but you're seeing global South, heavy global South participation from Asia, South America, and of course Africa. And part of that involves collaborating with top institutions and organizations and associations all over the world. In Africa, we have relationships, of course, not just with AFREhealth, but University of Global Health Equity and others. We're also very excited to share that we also have an MOU with the WHO Academy that was signed last fall, with a focus on nursing and community health worker training across the continent. This is Dr. Chirombo, who's the WHO representative for Rwanda, where we will focus on our initial pilot. This is David Acho-Arena, the executive director of the WHO Academy, who recently retired. We're also very excited to share, and this is brand new, as of last Friday, we just signed an MOU with UNESCO to share our open learning model and AI model with UNESCO member states. And so that will be coming out later this year. As I mentioned, our platform is already being used throughout the world. This is a midwifery program that was stood up in Asia with Hanoi Medical University, Taiwan, and Namdin. So this was a combination of nursing and medical schools working together to create a whole curriculum in midwives that they've already disseminated to well over 100 physicians in rural communities across Vietnam in the Vietnamese language, as you can see here, but also supporting work in the U.S. So so Harvard Medical School and Johns Hopkins Medical have joined forces to create open access clinical neurology bricks, that's being used to train elite medical students at Harvard and Hopkins. And so even in high resource scenarios, we are a very appropriate platform. So they're using more of a symptom-led based approach, and Harvard and Hopkins are cross peer reviewing each other. And I'll show you in a minute how that's actually working in Africa. So all that has actually been done, prior to the launch of our artificial intelligence platform for education called TIE. TIE stands for Teaching with Artificial Intelligence. TIE is essentially a teaching faculty co-pilot. You can think of TIE as your junior faculty, your junior professor. You are the senior, TIE is the junior. TIE can handle time-consuming curricular and assessment tasks, including OER development from end to end. So TIE gives you the options to build open access education, which is obviously the purpose of our collaboration here, but then frees you up to do the human things, that you are best at, which is direct teaching, coaching, and mentoring, and engagement with students, and helping contextualize, what they need to learn to becoming a good physician, nurse, healthcare worker, health policy person in Africa, but doing it in a way with responsible, ethical AI with safety, privacy, and security guardrails. So what I'm going to do is actually show you a brick and then show you how TIE can help you build a brick as part of the grant program. So let me switch screens. So I'm going to give that a moment. So you should see my web browser, and you should see a brick module that was developed by the University of Ghana Medical School. And again, I am just keeping an eye on the chat here to make sure I'm not missing anything, but so far so good. Roger, let me know otherwise. So this is an example of a brick. What you'll notice about this brick is University of Ghana Medical School is on the masthead. So they have taken the lead in building this. This is bricks when they're released are typically released, if they're released publicly, in a searchable way, they're released through an institutional entity such as a medical school, an association like AFREhealth, AMSA, so it could be released through an association, so forth. And you can see that all the editors, authors are credited. And if you have a chance to click through, we don't have the time here, but let me explain. This has that Harvard Hopkins collaborative in clinical neurology has expanded to Africa. So they are working with the University of Ghana Medical School and also the flagship teaching medical hospital in Zambia. And the lead author here, if you click, is from Ghana. The senior author is from Johns Hopkins. The editor is from Harvard. And then all the contributors and reviewers are from all the above institutions. So this is truly a cross-continental collaboration. And Jeff just dropped a link in, so you can peruse this brick yourself. You'll notice that it has learning objective, has a case application called a case connection. And you see that it's interactive right away. It asks you what, this patient presents with leg weakness. What are you going to ask Mr. Abrams? And then, there's a formative assessment. Then you provide, an ongoing case connection, how you should examine, how you should approach it. Then you are asked questions, and you cannot proceed unless you answer this question. I've answered this question, but then it goes on to the next part. It provides a table for breaking down the differential diagnosis of leg weakness. And then then it asks me, what is my top 3 differential diagnosis? And then I have to provide an answer or think of answer and then look at the provided answer before I can go on to the next level. And you can see that, right? So you see, I cannot go on to the next session until I, provide an answer. I provide the answer, and if and I compare it to the provided answer, which is Guillaume Boré, And then only after I look at that, then can I proceed to the next session. You can see it goes on and on. It's very interactive, very challenging, very engaging. This is not passive learning. This is not just sitting there, you watching a YouTube video. This is actually how uh, um, how we often want to engage with our students. And the key thing is that any of you can use this brick. And so you feel that this is appropriate for, let's say, Universal Global Health Equity in Rwanda and Kigali, or I'm sorry, Butaro. You can clone it into any different languages, Spanish, French, Portuguese. Obviously, we have Francophone schools here, Lusophone schools here as well, too. But we'll keep it in English. Then you can create your own version. So if you teach leg weakness a little differently, you can go ahead and then just edit this for UGHE or Aga Khan in Kenya or any other school, right? But then and then you can edit it yourself. You can say, hey, look, our patients are younger, maybe, and you can add your own content anywhere you want. We won't go into all this, but this is a very powerful authoring tool platform. And then once you're ready to publish it, you will notice that there is direct attribution to the previous version. So it will actually link back to the Harvard version, to the University of Ghana version, and the University of Ghana author and so forth. So there's a direct train of attribution between UGHE and University of Ghana, right? So then you can actually see the linkages across the continent, right? So this is just one example. There are many more. This just was published by Vinh University in Hanoi. This is Vietnam. And you can see that they did something similar, but they're talking about Lynch syndrome, and you can see how well they illustrated it and so forth. And again, how interactive this is, right? So I'm going to briefly show you an example of how you can build your own. So many of you give talks all the time, and of course we do it through PowerPoint slides. That's what we're doing right now. Here's an example of a set of PowerPoints on hyperobstructive cardiomyopathy. So you may be a cardiologist, you may be a physiologist that teach about this, and you can see this is a standard PowerPoint deck on the pathophysiology and so forth. So nothing special, this is what we all do all day long. But as you can tell, this is not interactive. PowerPoint lecturing is typically not interactive unless you're purposely doing it. So, but we can program make that so. The other thing you'll notice is that there's nothing really specific about Africa if you read through it, right? But we do know that work is being done. So here's a paper from the Cardiovascular Journal of Africa that looks at the prevalence and epidemiology of certain cardiomyopathies in Africa, and you'll notice that it does have a section on HCM, hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy, and it talks about the epidemiology in different countries in Africa, such as Nigeria and Tanzania here and so forth. Once echocardiography became widely available on the continent. And so you can actually take these and you can put this into Thai, and Thai looks like ChatGPT. You upload your PowerPoint deck. Here's the PowerPoint deck, and here's that journal article. You simply click this link, this icon here, or you drag and drop, and then you tell Thai what you want to build. So I told Thai, I want to create a brick about HOCM/HCM in Africa for African medical students using the attached documents. Please use African data and examples where applicable. Be specific. Tell Thai exactly who you want this for, where your sources are coming from, or if you're obviously you're providing the sources. So what parts of the sources do you want to emphasize in and so forth, and whether you want this to be a standard brick or a case-based brick for more clinical forward learning. And then once you do that, then Thai will analyze all your documents that you provided and then come back with suggested learning objectives. And you will see that Thai is has already provided learning objectives using proper Bloom's taxonomy, which you can directly edit. You can say, well, I want to focus on patients in I'll make it up in Nigeria, right? If you want to, you can add your own learning objectives, right? But we won't do that. So again, be specific, be directive. You are the expert, right? And so your expertise, your name will be first on the module, not Ty, right? Ty is just your assistant. But then once you do that, then Ty will build out an outline, which takes, again, mere seconds, about 10 to 15 seconds to do that. And then then you can see that Ty has actually created a case connection specific about Nigeria, and a presentation of a patient to a cardiology clinic, and what should you be thinking about with HCM? How does it present? What are the genetic mutations typically seen in African cohorts? So again, it's being very specific and so forth. And then again, you have the ability to edit it, and if there's a different gene mutation that you want to focus on, go right ahead. That's specific to Nigeria. And then once you are done, then you let Ty build a brick. And you'll notice that we're going through an instructionally sound process here, from program objectives or session objectives to the outline, and then to building the first draft. And then within 3 minutes, you can have a full draft. Now, keep in mind that what I'm showing you is just an accelerated process here. At each stage, you should be reflecting and critically thinking about working with Ty, and that obviously will take time. So working on the outline should take 10, 15 minutes. Once you get the full draft, you should spend a good 30 to 40 minutes. But and most faculty can build a complete module in 3 to 4 hours, which is, in comparison, if they were to do this without Ty, would usually take 2 to 3 weeks. So we have seen this time and time again accelerate faculty productivity by 10 to 12 times. That is the power that Ty, how Ty can amplify and accelerate your work. So I'm going to show you what it actually looks like. You can see that Ty this was done for physical therapy, but you can see that Ty built out the entire module, including the flashcards, including multiple choice questions, tables, and so forth. And you can then work with Ty to optimize that. So if you want to make it longer, for example, or make it shorter, or hey, please, translate to Swahili. Sorry. You can. Sorry, I can't spell Swahili. Still early in the morning over here. So if you want to make this multilingual and contextualized, you can. And you can see it redlines for you. And again, if somebody here can review the Swahili and tell me we're close, we've already done it a couple times, and our Swahili colleagues tell us this is quite good. But you can see you can do this in French, Portuguese, if you're Francophone, Lusophone, and so forth. And then when you're done, then you can actually take it into an editor. And then within the editor, you can then again directly, edit this for your university. So let's say it's University of Lagos, making it up. Thank you, Dr. David. I appreciate your confirmation of the Swahili. So I'll pause there. This is just an example of how it can be done. Once you're done, Ty can also help you build all your formative assessments, MCQs, and so forth that are learning objective lined, with these Bloom's taxonomy learning objectives, whether they're level 2 all the way up to level 4, level 5 learning objectives. So with that, I want to pause there, and I want to send it back to Roger so we can open it up and talk about, how what kind of questions or thoughts you have about the grant program and how we could best support it. In the meantime, I will share our contact as well too. But while we're doing that, Roger, would you like to help lead the discussion?
Thank you so much, Dr. Tauli, for this insightful presentation. So it's time, if you have any question, clarification you want to ask myself, Dr. Tauli, Dr. Roy is also here, Evans is also here. We are here to serve you. Please, you can raise your hand using the Zoom hand raising feature. If you're unable to talk to, you can also type in your question in the comments, and then I'll read it out for him to respond to.
If you don't mind, I have a question. Maybe I can start here, just so people think. We talked about AFREhealth priorities. I believe AFREhealth recently did a needs assessment of health professionals learning. I want to say it's East Africa, I could be wrong, but I believe Dr. Mabuk led that study. Roy, is there anything that you want to share with the AFREhealth community in terms of what AFREhealth learned from that needs assessment study that might be helpful in terms of the community thinking about project ideas or program ideas, for this grant program? Roy, are you still there?
Okay, yes, maybe I'll do that briefly, and then you can respond. There's a question I've seen in the chat. Yes, even in the call, the priority areas were outlined, but the focus will be on projects that improve teaching and learning of our students wherever we are, and this can also extend to clinical teaching and learning as well. So that is also included. Issues to do with student assessment, curriculum, innovative teaching and learning methods, clinical teaching, such as case-based learning and so on. So all those are included in the areas that we are looking out for. So basically, it's broad-based, and I know most of the ideas that will come up from people will be eligible for assessment and review. So basically, that's what we are looking at. But the aim is to improve access to learning resources to our students as well as our colleagues.
Wonderful, thank you. I noticed that there are two questions in the chat. The first one, and I'm just going to use first names because I'm having just so I don't mispronounce. Dr. Florence is asking, are we as applicants supposed to build our proposal on TIE or design a new model? So TIE is solely to actually help you build the actual modules itself. It itself is not designed to build grant applications. Now, obviously, you could use other LLMs to help you think and brainstorm, but we obviously expect that application to be driven by you and whatnot. So, Roger, do you have anything you want to add to that particular question from Dr. Florence? Roger? Okay. The second question is, thank you for the presentation. I am unable to talk this is Dr. Celia. I am unable to talk for the application process. Are we expect to have a completed brick or just an idea topic? No, you do not have to create a brick. This is just an application process. The links, I believe, have been shared to the community. Perhaps Roger could drop the link, or Jeff can drop the links to the application and the online application process. But if you go through, it'll take you step by step through the application process. And again, any questions about how to fill out the application can be directed to Roger here and with his email right here. But no, you do not need to create a brick. You're welcome to create a free account and play around with it so you get a sense for the tool and so forth. In the open access tool, at this point, TIE is not activated for it. If you do need access, feel free to reach out here, or Farzan will be able to connect and whatnot. But yes, you can absolutely play with the tool, but you don't need to create any education, as an exemplar as part of the application process. I Patty. So, Dr. Patty, can you go ahead? Dr. Malinga.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Tao. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. I need just a clarification on the individual microgrants. And because I saw the eligibility, they say must be a faculty member. And innovation for MEDEX Mentor, we deal with the supporting undergraduate health students by pairing them with mentors, individual grants wide. But we are not an AFREhealth member institution, but we work with AFREhealth members, like faculty leaders in Busitama University here in Uganda, Dr. Rose Navi.
Dr. Malinga, your connection is breaking up.
We apply as the MEDEX Mentor or we let Dr. Rose.
Hello, can you hear me, Dr. Tali?
And AFREhealth
Yeah, I can hear you. I think
member
Dr. Malinga's connection is breaking up.
Okay, I thought it was my network. Sorry, I was thinking it was my network.
So,
Okay.
Dr. Malinga, I don't think I could hear the entire question, but I think I heard who would be eligible to apply. I would direct that to Roger. And, it does need to be an AFREhealth member institution, and it needs to involve, faculty who can represent that institution. Students can be involved too, because I thought I heard you mention students might want to be involved in the study. We absolutely welcome student participation in the grant application process, but they cannot be in this particular case. They cannot be the principal investigator. They can be part of the study team, I think. But I will defer to Roger to clarify that. On behalf of AFREhealth.
Yeah, so it was an optional thing. It could be faculty member or individual educator or a clinical educator. So my line went off a bit, but I think they can apply as well, because it focuses on also individual educator as well as a clinician educator as well, not just a faculty member. So there were options that were laid out in the award document.
Yes. Roger, you're 100% correct. On the individual microgrants, a student can apply for that, but they have to have a mentor faculty / educator working with them on that, on that micro grant. Other questions?
Thank you. I think I dropped off. I'm sorry, but I had last part that we should apply with we can apply, but affiliate ourselves with an educator.
Yes, a student can apply, but needs to co-apply with an educator on the micro grants, the individual $500 grants.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I know we have a few more minutes. Are there any other questions or thoughts or ideas? Dr. Cynthia, your hand is up.
Yes, greetings to everybody. I just wanted to check whether these grants are only limited because I'm looking at maybe a student with a mentor or faculty member wanting to present a research paper in a conference. Do these micro grants cover that aspect?
Absolutely. The grants can be used to help teach about research. So often, as you know, there's an area of research called implementation science, which is how do you
Yeah.
get scientific findings into practice? And education is one of the key strategies. So converting science and research into an interactive learning experience that can be disseminated across the continent is a valid education scholarship. So that should work.
Okay, okay. Maybe now that I have the link, we'll get more details about such a. So I'm Cynthia from Zimbabwe. I'm coming from the National University of Science and Technology, and we do have a faculty of medicine, but I'm mainly in the nursing and midwifery, department within that. And I would really love to interact with this platform and develop many things. Thank you so much. I think I
Thank
have
you.
got
We look forward to your participation. And I do want to, and I want to take that opportunity, Dr. Cynthia, to spotlight that even though a lot of the examples that are, several of the examples you use is medicine, this is for all healthcare, health professional
Yes,
education. You saw the midwifery example from Vietnam. This
yes.
could be done for healthcare worker training, public health training, any type of health training.
Thank you so much, because at that university we're working on, implementing interprofessional education to all healthcare professionals. We are in the process of that, and we feel that this business of working in silos is really, we want to really mitigate that so that all health professionals work together, and they are, because we are looking at positive outcomes of patients, and those can only be achieved if all parties work together and they complement each other in the care of those that need services. Thank you so much. I'll be in touch. Thank you.
Thank you. I know we are at the top of the hour, so I really appreciate all the dialogue. Again, if there are any questions, feel free to reach out to Roger about the application. You saw his email address, but otherwise, I'm going to pass back to Roger to help wrap us up. Roger?
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Valerie. It's been a fruitful discussion today, and I want to thank you, Dr. Roy Evans, and all the participants who also joined us today. Like we mentioned, the main information is on the website. If you visit the AFREhealth website, on the slider, you will even see the notice of grants there. You can read more. If you have any inquiries, please reach out. Dr. Tauli just dropped my email. Send me an email, and I will respond to you. And the applications are open. Jeff also dropped the link in the chat. You can apply, and if you have any inquiries, please feel free to reach out. So, on behalf of AFREhealth, and we would like to say thank you so much, and I would like to call it a day. Do enjoy your day.
Thank you so much. And also, we're excited to work with AFREhealth and all of you. So take care and have a good evening, afternoon, and morning. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.